Steph Curry injury update and a potential trade candidate coming up on Golden State Warriors today, but a reminder to subscribe for year-round coverage of the Dubs. And when breaking news happens, we have you covered like this Steph Curry injury, and no matter where we are, we're going to do our best to bring you a video, and even if we have to do smelling salts before a show, we'll do that if it means that we're cooking up the best content. Golden State Warriors season up to this point has been a little bit rocky, and it just took another turn. You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. So in last night's game, Steph Curry got injured against the Indiana Pacers. Hurt that shoulder. He left early. He is now going to miss a few weeks after suffering that injury. And this is a huge blow to a Warriors team that has been in choppy waters all throughout this year, coming off the NBA championship. And now without Steph Curry, a team that's been inconsistent, awful on the road, is going to have to look to get some sources of production elsewhere because Curry has been having another MVP caliber season. This is what the Warriors are going to miss over the next couple of weeks, depending on how long Steph Curry is going to be out. The definitive timetable, not sure yet as of right now, but 30 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, nearly 7 assists. And I think that the evolution of Steph Curry has been fantastic. We credit him with changing the game of basketball. We credit Steph Curry with being one of the greatest players of all time. He is, no doubt, the best shooter that has ever walked the earth and stepped foot on an NBA floor. But the evolution of Steph Curry has that he has become a more well-rounded player later in his career, rebounding the basketball, chucking out some dimes. Also defensively, he stepped up a little bit. And the numbers here shooting, in terms of the efficiency, with Steph, considering the volume here, 50% from the field, 43% from three-point range. He is irreplaceable. Steph Curry being out, you just can't replace that production. Can you get it from different players on the roster? Of course. So obviously, this is brutal news with how the Warriors have been playing. This isn't a team right now that you can put a lot of trust in if the season were to end today to make a consistent run in the NBA playoffs. Now, luckily, it happens right now in the early portion of the season, and hopefully other players will be motivated. Maybe Jordan Poole with opportunities will play like he did last year, because up to this point, he has not been good. A couple of things to keep an eye on there and watch over the next couple of weeks. Even the young players, an uptick in their usage. James Wiseman, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, where are you? So to wish Steph Curry a speedy recovery, type the jersey number of the legend down in the comment section. That sweet number 30. Hopefully he's able to come back soon and he's going to be fine, because this upcoming schedule, it's not easy for the Warriors. We talked about their road struggles. Well, they're in the midst of a long road trip right now. Well, that game to Indiana, now they have the 76ers, so it's unfortunate Steph won't get to play in front of that hostile crowd. December 18th on the road north of the border against the Raptors, then at MSG. So Curry going to be missing some good games in terms of storylines against pretty good opponents. On the road against the Nets, come home against the Grizzlies, Hornets, Jazz, Trailblazers, Hawks, Pistons. Those are the next 10 games for the Dubs. Now, we do want to hear from everybody in the comment section here with what you're thinking about the Warriors. Are you confident? Are you concerned? Is this a team that's going to be able to right the ship? Let us know who needs to step up with Steph Curry out. That is really the big topic of conversation. The guy that I'm going to is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is the answer here, who can go on those heaters, who can really play well for a long-standing stretch. This year, though, the efficiency in his shooting, not even close to what it was last year, and it's kind of been baffling, right? Because he does have a lot of open looks playing alongside Steph as well as Klay. So Jordan Poole hasn't been as consistent as last season, when last year he averaged 18.5 points per game, shot nearly 45% from the floor, 36.5 from three, 92.5% from the free throw line. But as you can see, all across the board here, the numbers are down outside of the assists. Points per game down to a tick under 18. The field goal percentage, 44.8 to 42.5. Three-point percentage, a lot, 5 percentage points almost. And even the free throw percentage is down from 92.5 to 86 plus. We'll get to some Warriors trade buzz coming up around the corner. First, though, rocket money. You know, this Warriors franchise over the last 8 years, winning 4 titles, it's been a rocket ship. But in the process, they've had to, of course, be fiscally sound. You want to be fiscally sound and cancel unnecessary subscriptions that allows you to save money? do it with Rocket Money. Download the app, rocketmoney.com/NBA now. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 per month on those subscriptions when the actual total, get this folks, according to studies, $200+. That's right. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars, not just every year, each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. The app that I love using, it's Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. It shows all of your subscriptions on one screen. It allows you to stay on top of upcoming bills, and they will cancel those subscriptions for you at the tap of a button. Head to rocketmoney.com/NBA now so that they know that Chat Sports sent you. Appreciate them for making today's show possible. Now to Klay Thompson. We talked about Jordan Poole. Klay Thompson, like Jordan Poole, been a little bit inconsistent. A couple of games ago, he popped off and looked like the Klay Thompson of old against the Boston Celtics. Him and Steph were cooking, and they look like every bit of the championship team that they were last year. He's returned to his usual self recently, and he's going to need to keep that going. So the first 12 games of the season, it wasn't good. And I had said going into this year, look, for the first time in a really long time, Klay Thompson is going to have a normal offseason in which he doesn't have to worry about rehab. He can work on bulking up, getting in shape, and his overall game. Now, it didn't reap benefits in the first 12 games. Minutes, 28.5, 15 points per game, 35% from the field, 33% from three. And the free throw percentage, this is unlike Klay Thompson, who's been borderline automatic, 81.3. How about the last 11 games, though? Nearly the same sample size. Minutes have gone up. With that, points per game have gone up. Look at the field goal numbers here. This is an encouraging sign now with Steph Curry out. And also, Jordan Poole going to that point, going to have to handle the basketball. But for Klay, 45.5% from the field, nearly 44% from three-point range, and the free throw percentage up a lot as well. So your level of concern in the Warriors without Steph Curry in this position is what? I want you to scale it for us from 1 to 10. 1, not concerned at all. 10, extremely concerned, because there are some concerning trends and some concerning signs with this basketball team here. So the NBA trade deadline is going to be here before we know it. Let's talk about the latest Warriors trade rumors and a potential option here. Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus cited the Dubs as a team who could be interested in Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. is a solid player who I like. He's pretty solid on both ends of the floor. Kind of an inconsistent offensive player, but at times you're like, man, this guy can be a hyper scorer, can shoot the three as well. And if he were to get traded to the Warriors, this is a guy who would have a lot of looks from the outside and driving lanes to create because of the spacing here. And this is a player also, who's developed a lot. And I always have mad respect for guys who get in the lab, who put the work in, who see their weaknesses as clear as day, and they work on those weaknesses to become better athletes and better players. Ben Simmons would never. Gary Trent, 2019-20, the numbers were solid for a bench guy. Then he takes that big leap the following year, up to 15 points per game. 2 years ago, 18. And this year, nearly 17 points per game, 43% from the floor, 33.5% from three, athletic enough to be a good defender. And he's a nice player. He would immediately be a bench upgrade. Is this a guy who I want in the Warriors starting five? No, because the Warriors have one of the best starting fives in the National Basketball Association. So Gary Trent Jr. coming off the bench for a team that has needed better bench production, that right there, definitely intriguing. So should the Warriors trade for him? Y for yes, N for no. Let us know. We're going to sound off, and we want you to sound off in the comment section. And as always, appreciate all of you for tuning into Warriors Today.